Welcome to Morning Joe with Tom, with your host, Thomas Chappelle. Get ready to listen to real-life stories from inspiring leaders who have overcome incredible challenges to rise to the occasion. If you're ready to add some pep to your morning with a new outlook on leadership, then grab your cup of coffee. It's time to be inspired. Here's your host, Thomas Chappelle.
Hey, Steve, it's so good to see you again, my friend. How you doing?
Tom, it's a beautiful morning. I'm so happy having a cup of Joe with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have my cup of Joe. It's got State Farm put on it today, but
I'm going to go with water because I've had my share of coffee already. But we'll pretend that it's coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. So for all you listeners out there, Steve Rosenbaum and we met through Sean Mize, I think, 3 years ago almost now?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
And we've kind of like hit it off ever since. I mean, it's kind of hard not to hit it off with each other. I mean, we're both fellow Texans, so, what's there not to love, right?
Well, I got here as fast as I could. I can't say I'm a native.
Well, I was a native, but I'm kind of been estranged. It's kind of like this weird estranged marriage, I guess you could say, because I still miss it. I don't know if it misses me, but I still miss her. So take her to the dance anytime I could.
Yeah, no doubt.
But so, Steve, for all my listeners out there, I know I met you in the early days of Flawless Followup, and you've got this great new program that I hope that you talk about called APES. I mean, it is amazing, people. If you don't know about it, you have got to investigate this. And then I'm just telling you, go ahead and enjoy it because you're not going to regret it. But anyway, Steve, would you please give us a little bit of insight into your life and what led up to all of this? Because it is an amazing story.
Well, I appreciate that so much, Tom. Flawless Follow-Up, it's relatively new by name. And even that's going back 10 years, and it's trademarked, and we've been through the whole process, so it's taken some time for all that to happen. But its roots go back much longer, throughout my entire professional career, which, as you could tell from the wisdom I display on the top of my head, goes back to the mid '80s. I'm a sales guy, and with it, I've always believed and subscribed in the importance of having sales processes and systems instead of just throwing things against the wall. And with that, I've always leveraged technology to make those processes better, faster, cheaper. And I say, this, but for your audience, I'll say it again. Technology changes nothing, but it improves everything. Because those processes are the important things. They're the foundational strategies. They have to happen. And with technology, we can do it better, faster, cheaper. We can get feedback back immediately. All you have to do is go back and look at the legends, the marketing legends, let's say a Dan Kennedy, who was copywriting in the 70s, maybe even the late 60s, and literally writing things out by hand or typing things out on a typewriter. Imagine that. Imagine copywriting on a typewriter and balling things up and throwing them away. There's no delete button, right? Literally, those guys used to handwrite things out on index cards and then paste the index cards on the wall. Imagine that. But then imagine the process of split testing a subject line or a headline. There's no email subject line, so split testing a headline. Imagine that. That process alone. Most of these guys they were doing direct mail. You'd have to buy a couple email lists. That's not cheap. You'd have to print up everything, print it. That's not cheap. Twice. You have to mail it out. That's not cheap. Twice. And then wait for maybe 6 months to get a response. All right. To test a headline. The process hasn't changed. We still split test headlines, but for $100, we can get an answer by tomorrow morning. So that's why I say things like technology changes nothing, but improves everything.
Yeah, and I had some friends of mine that were in sales. They were in the insurance sales arena to other insurance companies, and they used to tell me that they did all this work and they would get like 2 to 3% response, and they were like joyous.
Right.
We can get far better response than that today at much faster time and be able to kind of recoup and rerun if a campaign's not going well.
No
So
doubt. No doubt.
yeah, I
So,
really appreciate that. So what led you into the process of developing flawless follow-up? Because I mean, yes, you were a sales guy before, and yes, you brought a lot of skills to the table, but what it sounds like to me is flawless follow-up is really keeping human-centric conversations at the forefront. So what led to you thinking like that?
wow, I love what you just said. You know, you just said that is keeping human-centric conversations at the forefront. Did I repeat that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So think about that, because flawless follow-up is an automated program. And people jump to the conclusion, because it's automated, that it's not human, that it's not personal. But you are right. We can be more human-centric, to use your words, through automation. And it almost sounds like an oxymoron, but it's absolutely positively true. Now, what led me to that was a story that in the end, it's just a brevity, but because you could also find it in many places, including APES. You mentioned my new group APES. I literally just posted this story the other day. I think you saw it, and it's called The Perfect Sales Storm, and it's a chapter from that book right there called So What Do You Do? That book is from New York Times bestselling author Joel Comm, and he asked me to contribute a chapter in that book. So I wrote a chapter called The Perfect Sales Storm, which was about a very memorable day in my career back in 1989,
Hmm.
and a huge sale that I had. And the bottom line is, spoiler alert, okay? But you should still listen to the whole story, because the how he got there is important too. But the bottom line is, I got real lucky. And I made a big sale, a sale that changed the trajectory of my career, because
Wow.
I'd been with this company for 2 weeks, and I got this massive sale. And it was because I was lucky. I was in the right place at the right time with the right message.
Hmm.
Now, people like Chet Holmes will tell you that will happen 3% of the time or less. Okay. Only 3% of the market is ready, willing, and able to buy right now. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, I was there. Luck, you know, the odds, 97% odds were against me, but I was there and it happened. But that they made a mark on me. And so how could I, my thinking was, how could I improve my odds of being at the right place at the right time with the right message? And how could I do it consistently and reliably and measurably? And so I developed a system for doing that. And that's what flawless follow-up is.
Okay. So that's a beautiful story. So now we're kind of moving along, and without giving away the spoilers and all, you've taken flawless follow-up and married it into this school group called APES. And tell me what that thought process. I mean, what was the strategic, or maybe using a Texan word, the strategery behind all of that?
Well, APES is an acronym, and it stands for the Automated Paycheck Escape System. All right. And it's really because I've got many missions in what drives me to do this. One is I want to make an extra $1 million of revenue for a minimum of 10,000 businesses that I influence through my flawless follow-up program. That would create $10 billion of new revenue that we could say flawless follow-up help these businesses do that. So I'm hoping folks like you, Tom, and everybody listening, help me with that mission. Introduce businesses to flawless follow-up, because we can do that. We've done it many times. We could easily do it 10,000. I just need all of your help, because businesses are out there needing this. Let's introduce them to it. All right. So that's one of my missions. But another mission is to help folks that also have a lot of wisdom on the top of their head. I'm the last year of the baby boomers. All right. I'm a corporate cast-off. I was fired and replaced by somebody half my age and half my wage. And I bet there's a lot of people raising their hand right now that are like that.
I was
Okay.
there. I was
Okay,
there.
exactly. All right. So I'm in that second act. I'm in that position of what am I going to do now the rest of my life? How am I going to make income? I don't want to be living off my savings now. I'm 60 years old. Hopefully I got at least 30 more years in me, if not more. That's going to be a trick to live off my savings for 30 years. But if I can keep cash flow coming in, I'll be fine. And we can do that. All right. So I've got a mission and a passion for helping folks in their second act create that. But I also remember what it was like to be in that corporate world. All right. And the truth is, even though I'm a corporate cast-off, the truth is I wanted to leave them for a long time too. I wanted to have a side hustle that developed into, I did have a side hustle that I wanted to develop that into my own business. And so for those people that are still relying on a paycheck or trying to replace that paycheck, those are the people that I had in mind when I said, well, I've got this system called Flawless Follow-Up. Let's help you because you've got it inside you. Whatever you love, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you have experience for, whatever you have a talent for, I call that your pet, passion, experience, and talent. All right. Share that with the world. There are people that want and are looking for the information you have. And I don't care if it's about business like me, or if it's about grooming your dog or playing the piano or tending your garden or something to do with your family or diet or illness or health, wealth, or relationship, whatever your passion, your experience, and your talent that you want to share with the world is, you can do that and you can create a business out of it that you can run from anywhere. And that's why I created APES, the Automated Paycheck Escape System. Escape the reliance on that paycheck. If you still have a paycheck, or if you used to rely on a paycheck, let's create that steady income that keeps coming in that you could really run for the rest of your days. And because you're doing it with what you're passionate about, it's fun at the same time. You're helping people, you're having fun. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, that's amazing. So I'm part of the APES group, and to let all the listeners know. So I'm going to ask some academic questions here on it, just so that they are aware of what to kind of expect.
Sure.
Some of the things that I might get questions on. So if I'm new to this type of endeavor, never have done this before, I'm introduced to Flawless Follow-Up. I'm through the APES program. How do I get started? I mean, I get the idea that we're in school, we're in a community, but what if I need more help, Steve? Because some of us aren't that technical.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is, number one, I've been doing this a long time, and I've been teaching people just like you and just like all the folks listening for a long, long time. Literally, I look at some of the stats behind the platforms that carry my programs, my courses, my webinars, and have more than 50,000 people from 155 different countries that have been through this, in some form or fashion. So right. That's a lot of people. A lot of people, a lot of places all around the world, a lot of different businesses, large and small, a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of mom and pops and husbands and wives, and even kids, okay, that have been through this. And so I've taught it a long time. I've gotten really good at teaching it, and I've got lots of content available. So it keeps getting better and better and better. And a lot of my stuff, because it's built on strategy, all right, technology is only, how we improve it. So I could point to a video that I might have made many years ago, still holds true today because it's all about the strategy. Now, maybe in that video, I talk about a piece of software that doesn't exist today, but that software has been replaced by something that does it even better and faster and cheaper and gets bigger results. So we talk about those things as well. So to get started, come on over to APES. I'll give you a website, flawlessfollowup.com/APES. And that will take you to our About page. It's free to join. Come on in, join us, hang out.
Absolutely. And we'll be sure and put a link down there along with all the other links that you would like to put in there as well. Love to kind of be able to also have a bio in there so people can kind of get to know you a little bit better. So
Sure.
along the way, and make sure you put your books in there because folks, I don't know if you know, but he's got some good material. I mean, his classes are outstanding, but I'm a book reader by heart, so you know, I love turning the page.
I hear you.
So segue in with that turn the page idea. Uh, what should somebody expect when they first join the group, assuming that they want to be an active participant?
Thank you for saying that. I would encourage you to be an active participant. You'll get more out of the group by putting into the group, as is always the case. All right. Tom is always at the top of the leaderboard. So you're gonna have to chase Tom, and you should chase Tom. All right. What I mean by that is I'm loving the community. We are using a platform right now called School, SKOOL.com, which is a great platform. All right, for the community aspect. We use Flawless Followup for the back end, the marketing automation aspect of it. And I don't mind telling people, some people don't like to say this. Flawless Followup is actually built on another platform called High Level. Many people that run high level agencies will keep that a secret. They don't want you to know it. I've got no problem having you know it because you can go get High Level on your own, but you'll never make it do what Flawless Followup does. It's a proprietary process. And that's what makes Flawless Followup. And so how do we take School and Flawless Followup and create that income machine for you, that paycheck escape system? That's what this is all about.
Okay. So let's talk about the beyond the solopreneur, the small business person that is trying to figure out this whole technology, trying to build their marketing capabilities up. How is this going to help them?
Well, let me ease your mind, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner. You don't have to figure it out. I figured it out. I've been working on it for 40 years. Okay.
Very good.
Nearly 4 decades anyways, right? So you don't have to figure it out. Now, what's always been a challenge until now has been implementation, because I could teach it, but then you had to go implement it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got that solved now. Flawless Followup has it built right in. So when I teach you things like the magic 8-email system that we call the MVP, all right, I'll teach it to you so you know what's going on. You should know what's going on, but you don't have to implement it. It's done. It's there for you. Okay, just you might change some words to make it your, about your business. Other than that, the system's there, the automation's there, the mechanics are there, the techie part's done. Don't worry about it. All right, just turn it on, it goes. So you don't have to worry about that stuff.
So I don't have to worry about hiring a tech person to like be on the spot whenever something breaks down.
No, in fact, we've got right inside the program, we've got 24/7, 365 live support. You could talk to a real person anytime, day or night, any day that I don't care if it's 3 a.m. on Christmas Eve, you could talk to a live person.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. All right.
That's powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Now, not only that, we've got literally thousands of instructional pages, a knowledge base. We've got what we call the Academy in there with recorded videos and lessons, everything you would need. And then, of course, now you've got, that will teach you a lot about the platform, but then we've got lots of training about Flawless Followup as well. And I'm introducing some additional options that are coming very, very, very soon that will help you leverage 10 years worth of content, 10 years plus worth of content, and AI to find exactly what you're looking for at any time.
Okay, you just said something in there that it can be a little scary and exciting for people, but especially people that don't currently use it, because AI is relatively new and they hear all the hubbub about it's correct sometimes and then it's unrighteously wrong in other times. What can they expect from this whole AI venture that you're talking about, especially whenever there's a little, hey, I'm paying for this and I'm a little scared. If it messes up, what do I do?
Well, great question. All right. So the good news is you make a very good point about AI, and sometimes it's right and sometimes it's wrong. But with the AI that we're creating, it's all based on my training, and it will serve you up when it gives you an answer. It will also give you the resource that it pulled that answer from, so you could make sure that this is what you're looking for. And I'll give you an example. Here's how we're using AI. All right. I literally have 10 years worth of video training inside my vault. I run a membership that has been going for more than 10 years called Offline Funnel Mastery. It is the largest, most successful, longest running membership of its kind that has trained people on flawless follow-up, how to help businesses make more money with the customers they have by improving their retention, and everything that we do. All right. And I've got all that information. And right now it's in a membership called Offline Funnel Mastery, and you could join. But if you join, beware, because if you want your answer, you're going to have to search through 10 years worth of videos. Okay. That's not real. And those videos are, like an hour and a half long each to 2 hours. It's not going to be a fun task for you. It is literally turning on the fire hose for you. So this has been something I've been wrestling with. It's like, man, this content's phenomenal, but it's not in a useful format for people.
Yeah.
Good news. With AI, I could have AI do all that work for you. So if you say to me, Steve, what is that magic 5 or 8 email MVP system? And you ask AI, AI will search through 10 years worth of videos and will say, here's what Steve's talking about, yada, yada, yada. And here's 3 different videos where Steve talks about that. So you can listen to that video and make sure that this is what you're looking for.
So that's just really amazing to be able to kind of have that depth of knowledge, and I didn't have to like research it myself so hard.
Yeah. Or watch 10 years worth of videos.
That's what, yeah, exactly. So, wow. Not even I actually knew that you had AI in that. So you caught me by surprise.
You didn't know that. That's what I'm working on right now. You didn't know that.
So all right. Well, let's talk about the community a little bit, because I think community is an essential part of this. It's not just Steve alone in a room with a bunch of strangers. This is, I mean, you intentionally built community surrounding Flawless Follow-Up, the school, you married them together. You've created this APES program, but it's not just Steve, it's the others. So coming in, what should I expect from our community?
You should expect from the community, pardon me, what you're willing to contribute to the community. Okay. And I'll say this, and I'll repeat what I said before. Tom is a leader in that community, not because I bestowed that upon Tom, because Tom walked in the door and took a leadership position. All right. Tom walked in the door and started immediately engaging with folks, offering to help or asking questions when he needed help. All right. Offering things of value. For instance, Tom offered me this very spot on this podcast right now, which is very valuable, very valuable. All right. But in doing so, Tom knows that he's able to help you, the listener right now, the rest of our community. All right. And he's offered other people in the community a spot like that. All right. So, so Tom, I'm using Tom as an example here, since we all know and love Tom, is an example of what can he expect from the community. I think he's already getting a lot out of it because he's putting it into it. Now, I'll tell you, we've been open a few weeks now, and we are getting close to a couple hundred members already. But I'll tell you, I can look and I can see that some of those people have never come back. What will they get out of the community? They'll get absolutely nothing out of the community. So I don't want to make any promises about what you'll get from the community if you don't put anything into it.
Wow.
But if you log in every day, you don't have to do everything Tom's doing. All right. But log in every day. You should engage with people. You should encourage people. You should like their comments and they'll like your comments. You should tell us about yourself, and and be open to receiving, but also giving. And if you do that, I think you'll get a lot out of the community.
I think that you get more out when you put more into it. It is like, I mean, I literally feel like I'm gaining friends inside that community.
I can
And,
see that you are.
and I've actually started like calling different people, my brother, my sister, all of this stuff in that community, because we interrelate, we interact with each other for so many times a day. And it's amazing because that whole contribution is like starting to mount up bigger than what my contribution on LinkedIn is. I have over 160 different articles, 68 articles that I've put out on there, and I'm already kind of like bumping up this process to surpass that in a few weeks. So
Glad you said that.
so
I'm so glad you said that.
yeah. And what I like about it is I get instant, well, or near instant feedback on what I put out there. I did some copywriting. Didn't expect to get the feedback that I got. I've tried to do inspirational posts. Jamie Bach did an outstanding video. I mean, that was amazing. And I'm going to tell him he's going to be on the podcast here next soon.
Can't wait.
I'm going to talk about that and all, but it's like you get the feedback, and it's not just from oh, that's so nice. No, it's a hey, that was absolutely great. Here's what you could do to make that better. Or I had somebody tell me, hey, you do really good at this counterintuitive thinking of doing writing and all. And you should put a little bit more effort into that area. And I was like, you know what? I did it. I tried it. I ended up getting 82 new followers from that one thing on LinkedIn.
May I add to that? I'm really glad you said that. Okay. I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. I created one of my best-selling courses. It's called LinkedIn Dominance. All right. And I'm a big proponent of LinkedIn for certain things. But lots of people will try to do what you're talking about on LinkedIn, and they won't get any traction. They'll do copywriting. They'll share stories. They'll produce content. And the reason why is because LinkedIn is too damn big. There's more than 1 billion people on there now. All right. And you are just one of 1 billion people. And if you're even so lucky to get eyeballs for a second, a fraction of a second, those folks are going to be distracted by something else like that and go on. All right. Now, when you're in a community like ours, we're not that large. We'll never be that large. Now, I want to get bigger. Don't get me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to grow. I want to help 10,000 businesses, but 10,000 is a far cry from 1 billion.
Right.
All right. All right. So it's a far cry from 1 billion. So, we're in a community that's a smaller, tight-knit community. We all have a shared interest, which is whatever brought us in, an attraction to me, an attraction to my content, the Flawless Follow-Up, to the Paycheck Escape System, whatever it is that brought you in. We all have a shared common interest. Smaller, intimate group, shared common interest. You're going to get more exposure. You're going to get deeper relationships that are going to benefit you. It's going to be a win-win situation that you just can't get on a platform as large as LinkedIn.
Yeah, I agree. And, really what counts, rubber hitting the road is being effective in your marketing. And that's what you're going to get from a smaller group, where the larger group, you're lost in the red ocean, because that's what it is. It's just a red ocean now at this point. And I'll not to say it can't be effective. I mean, obviously that one tip gave me 82 new people following me literally this week. And I had a low posting week for this. I posted 2 things in LinkedIn this week. I concentrated my efforts other places than LinkedIn, and I still and it told me I got like 622 new views this week alone on the content.
Beautiful. So I'm sorry, I'll just say one more thing is here's my real intention with APES is not for you just to come in and be a member of a community, but if you want to develop the type of business that we're talking about here, I want you to develop something in the same format. because this is the easiest way for you to build your own audience, to build your to improve your authenticity, your credibility. One of the most difficult things for you to do to get traction and for people to look at you as an expert of some sort, and you'll have to be viewed that way. If you want to sell something online, unless you want to blindly sell things as an affiliate, which is a whole different game, and these days requires a whole lot of traffic, which you're either going to have to buy or figure out some other way to get, which is one of the hardest things to do. Okay. But if you want to sell your passion, your experience, and your talent, then people have to view you as being a step ahead of them because they want to follow you. All right. And that's not hard. Okay. That's not hard. All of us at our age, we have something with that type of passion, experience, and the talent that we could share with somebody, that we're a step ahead of them, and we want to help them catch up to us. Even if they surpass us, that's okay. And this is one of the best ways to do it. So I don't want you just to join the community to be a member of the community, but I want you to learn that this is the path for you to create your own business and your own income. Or if you have a business, this is a way that you take the high road, because all strategic battles are won from the high ground. Okay. Take the high ground and be looked at as that leader, as the expert. If you're a chiropractor in town, don't you want to be looked at as the best chiropractor in town? Guess what? This could help you with that, or whatever your business is. If you're a digital marketing agency, same thing. That's what we're teaching here.
Well, and I think what I like about it too is I feel like that in this group, there are other marketing agencies in there, and you've welcomed them in and all, and you have your source here, but I don't have to spend all day concentrating on the marketing. That's what I like about this system. Is it's not, yes, I have to spend some time developing out, but once I have it developed, it can, you're just checking in on it, answering and responding, things like this, but it's not hours and hours and hours. And you kind of have the ability to help other people, to have access to people that could help them improve what they're doing because they're watching inside. Like you said, you're actively involved in the community. They can bring questions. What was it yesterday? We did a Q&A session. The whole thing was designed. Bring us your problems, bring us your struggles, let's talk about it and all. And Jamie was right. The people that didn't make it there, I'm going to probably unprofessionally say sucks to be them. But, I have to say, when you have, not very many people get this close to the guy. You're the guy that we all are kind of looking to and all. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but most people, when they join groups, never get to be next to the guy. They can be like 2 guys away from the guy, but not get the question answered by Steve. And that's what I like about your program, is it's very human.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting close to the end over here. I always like to give the last word to the guest. So Steve, if you would kind of leave the listeners with something that to really strongly think about, if you don't mind giving them how to contact you again, we will put all the description, but I like to mention that multiple times in an episode. So
thank you.
Take it away.
Thank you. Well, Tom, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. And everybody listening, thank you, so much for tuning in, and B, for staying. Okay. We in these times, I know how hard it is. There's so much going on. There's so many distractions. So the fact that you've stayed here, you've listened this long, I value it and I appreciate it. But I know that if you're here this long, that you found it rewarding as well. Just know that we're scratching the surface here. There's so much more that I want to share with you, that I set up this whole community called APES, the Automatic Paycheck Escape System, maybe the Automated Paycheck Escape System. Come and join us. The website's flawlessfollowup.com/apes. And just know that we serve not just folks that are looking to escape their paycheck. We're looking for anybody that's looking for consistent, recurring revenue. And that's for businesses, believe me, businesses as well. This applies to all businesses as well. This applies to anybody that's looking to bolster their second act, side hustle, escape from that job, create an income from home. If you got a small business like an Etsy, if you've got a large business I serve many types of businesses. Right now, one of my clients is a franchise of hundreds of different health-related businesses, and they find value in this too. So it works for businesses large and small, individuals, professionals, coaches, and we're here for you. And I'm here for you. So we'd love to see you, flawlessfollowup.com/apes. Tom, I appreciate you very much for having me, also for being such a leader in the community. I couldn't do it without you, so thank you.
Steve, thank you very much, and you'll be back. You'll be back.
Not going anywhere. No time soon.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Steve, and you have a blessed day and be highly favored. Listeners, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Thanks for listening to Morning Joe with Tom. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. See you next time for more real-life stories and inspiration on Morning Joe with Tom.